bet.
Thank
So
you,
we're
Mark.
going to talk today, everybody, about this concept of, um, I call it the three-legged stool, right? This idea of membership, fundraising, because we do our best work when we have a little bit of money to work with, and also getting the word out about Rotary, just promoting in general. I feel very strongly about this three-legged stool. In fact, I started a Facebook group called Get the Word Out Now. I put the link to that group in chat just now, along with a couple of other links I'll be referencing. I'll paste them a little bit into the program so that you have access to them again. But you can click right on these links to get more information and stay in the slipstream on this type of content that we're bringing you this evening. So I wanted to kick off by talking a little bit about why Rotary is still important. All of you that have been members for a while, you know that Rotary is, I think, the best service organization, not just right now, but in the history of the world. And a lot of people are thinking, well, because of the pandemic or because of, the recession that came and went pretty quickly, that maybe the need for Rotary or even your
What
need
about the
for
Mercy
Rotary
chocolates?
has subsided a little
No.
bit.
Okay.
And I want to tell you that it has not. Rotary is just as important as it's ever been. In fact, I'd make the argument that it's even more important. Is it more important than ever that we understand and respect the truth? Yes or no? Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you agree with me. By the way, in the system tray down below, you'll see the reactions icon. You'll see there's a thumbs up down there. Would you all click it for me right now so I know that you know where it is? In the reactions tray. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. You'll notice there is no thumbs down icon. You will not be disagreeing with the speaker this evening. Thumbs up, true or false. It's we should do things that are beneficial to all concerned now more than ever. And I'm speaking to you, of course, from the United States of America. Do I need to say any more? We need to look after each other. We need to have these kinds of NGOs, non-governmental organizations that are looking after people and doing the right thing by people. And Rotary is leading the way, ladies and gentlemen. So when we're promoting Rotary, I think it's important to understand the model that we teach in sales training. I do a lot of sales training as a result of my business. Some of you know that I teach presentation skills. So I spend a lot of time with leaders and salespeople. And one of the things we talk to them about in sales is this little crude drawing. By the way, I don't have any PowerPoint for you this evening. You're welcome. No slides, no PowerPoint, just me, baby. This is a crude little drawing I want to share with you that talks about something called the sales funnel. And it's true in any organization. The sales funnel even applies in Rotary because we're looking to raise money and we're looking to get more members. So you'll see what happens at the top of the funnel is that people have a chance to enter our sales funnel either as attendees for events or as contributors to an event. Maybe they're sponsors, maybe they're buying a ticket to a wine tasting, maybe they've paid or registered for a virtual event in the COVID world. But it's called a funnel because once people enter the funnel, allegedly, it's really hard to get out of the funnel again. Think about the old days when you used to put oil in your own car. Maybe some of you still do that. Thumbs up if you put oil in your own car. Allegedly, the oil's not supposed to come back up through the funnel. I mean, if you do it right? It's supposed to go down into the oil pan and stay there. So gravity does its best work once you get people into the funnel. And what's interesting to me about how we market Rotary is that sometimes we allow people not only to get out of the funnel, we encourage them to climb right back out of the funnel again after we got them into it. And that's a shame because when they cycle through the funnel the way they're supposed to, they might end up doing 3 club visits, either physically or virtually, and then they become official members. That's the only way people can become members if they visit the Rotary Club 3 times. I think that's going to be true for a while, even in a virtual world. By the way, if you have questions in chat, you want to type them in right now. I'm not one of those speakers that waits to the end to do chat. Mary Lou Harrison and David are going to be feeding me those questions as we go through, so I'm happy to answer any of them as we move through the program. My point is that sometimes when we put people into the sales funnel, they climb out pretty quickly, and they climb out under two conditions in particular. One is if the value proposition that we've offered them doesn't seem to be authentic. If it's not what we promised initially, they want to get out as soon as they can. We see this a lot, even with people who join the organization officially or become customers, as you might say in the sales parlance. They become customers and then they become anti-customers pretty quickly. I was watching a speech by CEO John Hugo a little bit ago. He said most Rotarians leave within 18 months to 2 years after joining the organization. And the reason they join is because everything looks so good on their way into the funnel. And then all of a sudden, that value proposition isn't shining the way it did when they moved in to the organization. And then they're climbing out of the funnel as fast as they can get out. This has to do with how we treat people when they get to meetings. And I'll show you a quick example of that. The organizers for this meeting told you the meeting started at 7 p.m. Eastern time and that they had a special guest speaker this evening. It happens to be me. So I was looking at the agenda to see when they put me on, because sometimes I'm the special guest speaker and I'm not on for 20 minutes. So think about this. We're inviting people from off the street, non-Rotarians, to these types of events. And then we don't give them what we promised them for a third of an hour. It's almost disrespectful to do that. So I was so glad to see that this group has me on at the advertised time, 7:05. Beautiful. And then we'll do our Rotary bling afterward. So this is one example of not promising, not delivering on the promise, not delivering on the value proposition. And it has people running for the exits almost as soon as they get involved with us. Here's the second example. I experienced it this week. I know a club that had a big event and they got a lot of emails for the event. Actually, the event was, I'm seeing 158 people right now in attendance. This event was almost 8 times larger than the event you're on tonight. So it was a huge deal. And of course, to get into the event, you had to surrender your email. And people were happy to do that because of the value proposition. We had an amazing speaker, we had a great lineup, and it was going to be a nice, unique opportunity, a unique setting. People surrendered their email addresses. But along the way, the meeting planners sent the same meeting invitation, the same exact subject line over and over and over again. And what do you think the recipients of that email started to reply to the meeting planners? What do you think they said? Dave Andrews is nodding his head. Dave, take yourself off mute. What do you think they said?
Another Zoom meeting.
Well, they said another Zoom meeting, but after 5 of these emails, thinking they're probably going to get spammed the rest of their life, their request was, take me off your damn list.
Unsubscribe.
The very people that showed interest in the value proposition wanted to be unsubscribed from the list before the meeting even happened. Can you imagine? It gets better. This group that planned this meeting was getting ready to do their next event, but they weren't, it wasn't in their best interest to use the list because they haven't scrubbed the list from the dozens and dozens of people that wanted to be removed from the list. That meant they couldn't promote their next speaker efficiently because the list needed to be scrubbed before they did that. So it was a huge problem. And this is what happens when we misuse that sales funnel that we talked about earlier. It's a very important thing to keep in mind. We're going to talk about specific examples. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you because I know you've seen versions of this, variations of this in your part of the world. Another thing that happens in marketing is based on something that advertisers call impressions. Now, it takes McDonald's Corporation about 9 messages to get you to buy an Egg McMuffin. So McDonald's has a billboard on the highway. They've got magazine ads. You're seeing the YouTube ad. You're seeing it on television. You're seeing it before the YouTube videos. And they know they need to get to you 9 times before you go buy an Egg McMuffin. Now, unless your organization is any better at marketing than McDonald's, you can expect you're going to have to hit people up about 9 times before they say yes to your opportunity. That means maybe 9 emails. It means 9 subject lines. It means an email, a Facebook post, a YouTube video, an endorsement from a friend, an announcement at a formal gathering of sorts, right? But most people don't appreciate the nuance here in a marketing campaign. Instead, we do the same Facebook post 9 times. And what do you think people in the Facebook group eventually start to say? I see John Burns is having a sip of wine, man. I'm jealous. So my point is that the campaign has to have variety, it has to have nuance, it has to have strategy, and it's good to have what Seth Godin calls fast feedback loops, because this allows you to understand that in a 100-day campaign, which is about how long we worked on this event, right, to get 161 attendees, a 100-day campaign is going to yield a good size, qualified audience. And in that 100 days, as long as we're talking numbers, because I think numbers do tell the tale, you're looking for as many as 10,000 internet impressions. 10,000 to get 100 attendees. It's not that hard to do. I mean, the average Facebook, the personal page on Facebook allows you to have 5,000 friends. Email lists, right, of 1,000 people. You have to mail it 10 times to get 10,000 impressions. You understand how this works. So there are ways to get this done without burning people out and without burning your own promotion committee out. So you must have the sales funnel. You must have a variety and a sophisticated campaign. And you've got to have a value proposition. You've got to be able to promise people something that they can't get anywhere else. Now, in the Rotary world, we're bumping up against a little problem. And I'm going to ask you for a thumbs up here in a minute to see if you recognize the problem. John Burns, cheers. Vodka and tonic, baby. It's the only way I can get through some of these Zoom programs, mine in particular. So here's the idea, guys, that if you have a campaign, that you need to make the value proposition unusual. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you have seen Jennifer Jones speak? Thumbs up. Everybody, a lot of people. Is Jennifer Jones a pretty good speaker? Thumbs up. Yeah, as good as she is, how many times are you willing to watch Jennifer Jones give the same speech? 2? Charles Mitten says once, especially if she does a good job. Maybe that's true. And the same is true for Wilf Wilkinson, John Hugo, Michael Caruso, Sue Miller, Dave Andrews, Brad Hollett from the Zone 28 Assistant RPIC team, right? So my job when I come on these calls is to have a unique value proposition. I'm going to share something I've never shared before. And that's what we promoted to you tonight. I'm going to share with you something I've never shared with a Rotary audience before. And that is how to build what's called a DIST list. Go ahead and write it down, D-I-S-T, distribution list. It's also known as your email list. Now, the DIST list is your strongest marketing muscle. I don't care how good you are on Facebook. I don't care how engaged you think your Twitter following is. Your email distribution list is your biggest marketing muscle in most cases. Why? Because you have complete control of the email message. You see, when you post to Facebook, only a certain percentage of your Facebook following sees the message. But when you mail to people, assuming you have good email addresses, assuming you're not being sent to spam, right? Almost all of those people are going to see your email. And you can put in the email whatever you want. Facebook is cloaking YouTube videos and what are called outward facing links. Like to send, you can never send a CNN link in Facebook and have Facebook show it to your entire following. They're not interested in doing that. They don't want people to leave the platform. They don't want people to leave Facebook to go watch YouTube videos. That's why we tell people to upload the video natively to Facebook if you really want eyeballs. So I'm not going to get too technical here, but I'm happy to answer questions, by the way. Ron Dick says, hello in the messages. Nice to see you, sir. I think the last time I saw you was in Toronto at that convention, and 4 days later, all the wheels fell off the wagon. Wowie. How are you, sir?
So, Michael, I've sent you a couple of questions in private messages, just so you'll see them.
Why don't you, thank you, Mary Lou. Why don't you read those to me, because I'm a little...
Happy to, I'm super happy to do that. So we have a question from Everson Peters. How can you make the club's value proposition unique if most clubs have similar goals and objectives, especially if they operate in the same geographic area and share charities?
Wonderful question. Here's the answer. And I teach the same thing in sales training. Look, when I do sales training and people are selling commodities essentially now, right? Every company has the same products, the same choices, the same options. But I always tell the salesperson, no other company has you to look after the customers. You are the unique selling proposition, Mr. Salesperson, Ms. Salesperson. So what's the answer to the question, Mary Lou? What does your club have that no other club has in terms of marketability? What's the answer? Anybody? Take yourself off mute.
I'll tell you that my club has me.
That's right. Charles Bridle's looking at thumbing himself. It's exactly right. No other club has Charles. No other club has Hadi Mortada in the club. No other club has Michael Caruso in the club. And so when people ask me about Rotary, I say, you want to join my club because I'm in it. And they laugh. But it's true. If you like Rotary because of me, you're going to love my club because I'm in it. So that's one of the special things that your club has to offer, that unique combination of people, right? I hope that answers your question. What else, Mary Lou?
I've got another question here from Joe Solway, and there might be a similar answer and maybe something else in addition. How should we position Rotary when we tell the public about us to get them engaged in what we do?
So who is this question from?
This is from Rotarian Joe Solway from Bowmanville, who himself has a very impressive media background.
Hey, Joe, take your microphone off mute. Let's chat.
Did.
Ask it another way, Joe.
Well, if everybody, I mean, you know, Trump, love him or hate him, you know, he positioned himself as the guy who's going to fight for patriots. Biden is, you know, the guy who understands you and loves you, you know, and is going to be everybody's, you know, everybody's leader. What's our, like, 3 words, like what we do? Like, is it service above self? Is it part of your life? Like, how do we form an image in people's minds who don't know about us?
I love the question. And again, in sales, I teach something called the 10-word close. And people always message me, what's the 10-word close? Well, it's different for everybody. The 10 words are chosen very carefully. Joe, you know this. There are about 500,000 words in the English language, not counting verb derivatives, gerunds, which are the ing words, etc. So some words are more persuasive than others. Would you give me that?
Mm-hmm.
And some word combinations are extremely persuasive. So your club's challenge, Rotary in general's challenge, is to identify the words. And they're working on this in Evanston all the time with surveys and trial balloons and test markets. You know, there's a lot of smart people in Evanston working on this. But Evanston's not giving your club the 3 words. Your club has to come up with it. And your club's 3 words may not be my club's 3 words. But when people ask me what Rotary does, and I don't want to climb into the, you know, the 5 avenues of service and the 7 areas of focus and the 4-way tests and all that stuff, I just say 3 words. We help people. And then I go to work on them. I say, do you like helping people? Now they have no idea. This is always an interesting conversation because they have no idea what I'm talking about when I say, do you help people? I mean, on the face of it, it just sounds lovely. Yes, I help people. Well, then we should have a conversation about Rotary. And they'll go, okay, they don't even know what they're getting into, but they're climbing into the funnel. I met a guy one time who said he was an old school Rotarian, and his closing was he would ask people really loud. He would raise his voice louder than it needed to be in a room of people, and he would say, "Do you like children?" Like that. And God help the person that said, "No, I don't like children," because he would be all over that. But the default answer is, yes, I like children. And since Rotary helps children, you would be interested in Rotary. In sales, this is called the half Nelson. Anybody do any wrestling in school, ladies? The half Nelson is a move where it's hard for me to demonstrate on myself, but you put your arm underneath the other guy's arm behind his neck and you can flip him pretty quickly, even if he outweighs you. Sometimes it's called the if-then proposition, the if-then close. If you like children, then you'll like Rotary. If you like helping people, then Rotary is for you. So I'm pulling you into the funnel with this high-end 30,000 foot, you have no idea what I'm talking about conversation. And eventually you're going to meet the wonderful personalities in the club. I'm going to get you to your first meeting. Then we're going to get you to your second meeting. And at the third meeting, you're going to have a membership application. You see how it works? It's not complicated, but I think a lot of times Rotary gives up on the system and just depends on the flywheel to spin all by itself. And it just doesn't. And if you don't believe me that it doesn't, check out North American membership numbers. It's a busy world out there, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot afford to not give 9 impressions. We cannot afford not to have a system for getting people into the greatest service organization in the world. So I want to get this done before we get too close on time. I want to show you how to build your strongest marketing muscle, which is your email distribution list. Now, some people don't even know the very first step of this, which is thumbs up if you're using Club Runner as your database. I'm going to check out the 7 screens here. Holy crap. Thumbs up if you're using DACDB. Mostly Club Runner, I think, up in Ontario then. Okay, very good. So in Club Runner, there's a feature, a field called, Yvonne, what are you drinking, may I ask? Take yourself off mute.
It's a crappy cup of tea.
Oh, that is.
She's lying. She's lying.
Lying. She never drinks just tea.
Well, she said it was a crappy cup of tea, which lends me to think maybe she's telling the truth. Anyway, I'm disappointed. All right, so back to the thing. So the distribution list is your main marketing muscle, right? And yet most people don't keep the list. So where would you keep the list? You keep it in a segment of Club Runner called Friends of Rotary. And that's where you keep all the emails of all your visitors and all of your speakers and people who are thinking about joining the club and your sponsors, Friends of Rotary. Because people get confused, why would you send, you want 2 lists, essentially. The first list is your active members, and you send them all the stuff about dues and membership and meeting times and annual reports and stuff like that. But you send all your promo stuff to the distribution list called Friends of Rotary. Now you're inviting these people to your ongoing events, your holiday parties, to sponsor certain things, to give $10 to end polio now, right? So 2 lists. And both lists need to be maintained and scrubbed. Now, your club secretary, if he or she is worth her salt, is scrubbing the membership list all the time. That one's easy. You have 43 members. You lost a member last month. Now you have 42. Pretty simple. But the Friends of Rotary needs to be maintained because people want to be removed from the list. People have questions. People, I don't know, they have comments or concerns, and somebody has to answer that bell. To not answer that bell is like somebody's at your front door and you're not coming to the door. It's like a ringing telephone that you're not answering. It's like nobody's home. And if it looks like nobody's home at your Rotary Club, they're going to climb out of the funnel again. Does this make sense to you? Thumbs up. So how do you get this distribution list? Where do these names and numbers come from? Well, right now we know that we have 164 emails as a result of registering for this event. I think you had to give up your email. Yeah, thumbs up? I think so. Zoom is asking for that now as a matter of course for security measures. What Rotary's not doing is capturing those emails and then importing them to the Friends of Rotary list in Club Runner. That's done through an easy process called a CSV, comma separated fields or whatever, you know. Yvonne, you know about this? Do you know Club Runner, Yvonne?
I don't know Club Runner, but a lot of CRM systems will allow you to CBS and export the data. So
100%. I mean, even if you're going to use Constant Contact or Survey Monkey or something, you got to get that. You got to get that email list into your primary database holding station, whatever it is. And then you've got to honor that list. If they want to be off the list, you not only have to scrub it, you have to scrub it from the master file, which is, like Yvonne says, the CRM or Constant Contact or Friends of Rotary, wherever you're sending it from. You have to honor those people. In the States, and I think probably in Canada too, it's actually illegal not to honor people who want to be unsubscribed. It violates the canned spam law of 1996 or whenever, 1998, whatever. But it's the decent thing to do. If people don't want to hear from you, you certainly don't want to badger them. Thumbs up. Okay. So whoever planned this meeting now has a lot more than 100, and I'm looking at the system tray, 166 emails because a lot of people registered and didn't show up. You can do something now called remarketing to those emails. What is an easy way, what is an easy, totally sensible, value-added way to remarket to everybody that either attended this call or did not attend this call? I know one of
Thank
you bright
you.
people has the answer.
Thank you.
What's the answer?
Send
Survey.
a thank you.
Survey might work, but you'll notice in the upper left corner, we're recording this program. And I don't know who's recording, but if you're pressing speaker view, then you're going to get less of the gallery and more of the speaker, which would be a nice way to watch the video. So speaker view whenever you're recording. What can we send? I'll ask again now that you know the answer. What can we send everybody that didn't attend, and even people that did attend? We can send them a copy of the recording. We can send them the link. And we can say, thank you for attending the program. I'll bet you know some people that were sorry they missed. Here's a copy of the recording. If you didn't get a chance to attend, you have a copy of the recording as well. Please don't send your list constant chances to give you money. They get tired of it, people. They don't want to keep hearing about how you need money for polio. They don't. So it's a mix, you know, just like social media shouldn't be all business. It's social media. 8 posts, 8 out of 10 posts are social, 2 are about business. Same thing with Rotary mailings. 8 are about value added, 2 are asks, ASKS. I see some people looking awful thoughtful. Did I lose anybody? Questions? Okay. Yvonne, what are you drinking?
It'll be fun, whatever it is, right, Yvonne? Just
it's
saying.
always fun. It's been fun for 10 months since COVID. So we got to mix it up, right? So just a comment back, that's a fabulous idea. Like, I think we've missed the mark on this Friends of Rotary. When I think about all the events we have during your tenure, that we have that opportunity to share a message for our fundraising, our fun stuff. And we really have missed the boat on that. So I know Barb's on the call. Barb, welcome to being the new secretary.
100%. In fact, I'll give you some more numbers. If your club has 50 members, whatever your club has, your distribution list should be 10x. If your club has 30 members, you should have at least 300 people in your Friends of Rotary list. That's a good goal. You could do the same thing with Facebook. You know, if you have 50 people in your Facebook group, you should have 500 connections on Rotary. That number is a little easier to get to. But I think these are some of the things to think about. I'm putting in chat again these links that I'm recommending to you, and I'll talk about these quickly right now too, so that because they're going to be top of mind for you. I guess all but one of them is clickable right now. So you see in chat, if you're a leader and you like my stuff, I'm going to show you how I collect email addresses. You can do the same thing. It blows my mind Rotary doesn't do this. I mean, think about this. Any event that you have, you could offer a free report or a tip sheet. And it doesn't have to be about Rotary. And in fact, it shouldn't be about Rotary. It should be about something everybody wants. How to save time, for example. Get somebody in your club to create a little tip sheet on how to save time. Or how about this? How to be distracted during COVID. Who doesn't need that list? And if you can't find somebody to create the report, ask me to borrow one of mine. I'll give it to you for free. So you send out my free report and your club collects the email addresses. How's that for a deal? Work, you know, my email list by myself, me, is almost 10,000 people. So I walk the walk on this, and these reports work. Here in chat, you have to scroll up now. Here in chat, this free report on how to get on effective leadership. If you click that link and surrender your email address to me, by the way, you can quit my list anytime, you will automatically receive, because it's on an autoresponder, because I don't have time to, you know, look after all of the requests. You'll receive this free report on effective leadership. Now, I've served you because you're a leader in Rotary, right? And you can, by the way, you get a double dip. You can use this report for Rotary, or you can use it at your job. And it's beneficial to me because I can keep in touch with you now because you agreed that you like my stuff and I have your email address. Again, you can take yourself off the list anytime. How elegant is this? I mean, talk about beneficial for all concerned. The second link is to present like a pro Facebook group. Now, you don't give up your email to belong like this, to do this. You just sign up for the group. I let you in and you get ongoing tips about how to be a better speaker, which means you'll be more persuasive, more effective in whatever you're doing, Rotary or otherwise. The third group, the third link is the Get the Word Out Now group, which I started on Facebook because I got tired of all of the Rotary Facebook groups. They're almost all the same. In fact, there are people now gaming the system, these enterprising Rotarians. They copy paste a little message and then they copy paste it to every friggin' Rotary group they belong to. And now you're seeing the same exact content over and over and over again. And I wanted a group that offered more nutrition. So in the Get the Word Out Now group, we talk about marketing campaigns. We talk about the funnel and we offer these strategies for seriously building your club. And it's not the stuff you get on other sites. Gus Lopez is with us. Gus is also a member of the Rotaract public image team for Zone 28. Gus has amazing energy. He really understands marketing. And in fact, he's going to school. Actually, your degree is not marketing, Gus. Type it into chat or take yourself off mute, Gus. Let's chat for a second.
No, my degree is in public relations, but you're also too kind.
So I'm going to guess you understand a little bit about marketing. His post says, his chat says, the Rotaract Club of Toronto has approximately 60 members and the email list on MailChimp is 500. There you go. I mean, he gets it. He knows that a bunch of those people are hovering above the sales funnel, either waiting to join or waiting to contribute or waiting to come to his next wine tasting.
Yeah. And what we do is whenever anyone messages us on a social media inbox or asks a question on our social media comments or emails us asking about the club, you know, I want to understand more what Rotaract is. I want to come to a meeting, or like, how do I join? The very first thing that we say is, please give us our email and then we will add you to our newsletter so that you can know when our next event is, so that so that they can come, and then they can pick and choose, because we have a lot of events going on at the same time, so they can actually pick up an event that they're actually interested in. And because the newsletter, I think really important what Michael said about making sure that you're not spamming, and that you're respecting people's want to like not hear from you anymore if it gets to that. Because the newsletter is managed on MailChimp, everything is automatically, it's an email marketing platform. So at the bottom of the email, people can self-unsubscribe. So they don't actually have to email you, and you have to manually scrub your list. They can just unsubscribe, and then they're gone, and then it's fine. You still have their information, but your newsletter won't email them anymore.
Thank you, Gus. Now we know this is over some of your heads. You know, it's a little bit more technical than you're used to. Gus will speak to your club or to your district. He's very good at this, and he's available to help you. It's part of his responsibilities as an assistant RPIC. So Gus, type your email address and contact information, however you want people to reach you, into chat so they can find you. Same thing with Brad Hollett with video. Brad says, going back to the suggestion about sharing this link, he would edit the video to show the best points of the meeting. So, for example, if you were going to send the video out to feature the guest speaker, you would edit out all of the back end content, right? Or the chat at the beginning, the kind of the greeting at the beginning, right? Just send the speaker. It's easy enough to do. Brad can do it in his sleep. In fact, Brad can teach you how to do it in your sleep, but you'd have to have him do a little talk for you. Excellent. More comments in chat. Oh, Nikita Williams, where are you, Nikita? She says lead magnets are a gold mine. How do you know that language, that lingo?
Hi, Nikita here. Because I stay learning, and with the Rotary Club of Toronto too, always looking for ways to engage our community and different people that we talk to. And it's all about providing value, right? And lead magnets is where it's at.
Yeah, they're called lead magnets. So that report I'm offering you is called a lead magnet. And I think where it got its term, you know, if you go to like trade shows and all the guys in the trade shows, all the ladies, they want your email address so they can keep in touch with you. But they know that you're not going to just give it to them for free. So they have to give you something. And that's called a tchotchke or a trinket. I joke, it's a refrigerator magnet. People will do amazing things for refrigerator magnets. You know, it used to be people would do amazing things for the refrigerator, but now we just want the magnet. It's fine. So it's pretty cool. You can charge for the report or you can make it free. Kathy Borg is correct. Cool. Lots of cool stuff happening in chat. Make sure you keep scrolling it. There's Brad, there's Gus, Mary Lou Harrison's available. Mary Lou's really good about events and top of mind awareness, TOMA, T-O-M-A, top of mind awareness. So she can speak to you about that. I know a lot of you know Mary Lou up in your part of the world. Let's open up for some Q&A and talk about anything you want to talk about. Fundraising is a tight topic right now because of COVID. People aren't getting out. Membership, we can chat about that. Take yourself off mute or cue it up in chat, whatever's best. And somebody watch the clock for me.
I'm just going to shout out to the other RPICs on the call that my internet keeps crashing. So I'm using now on my phone, which makes it hard for me to follow the chat. So I'm here to answer questions, but if some of the others could direct questions to you and follow the chat, that would be awesome.
And just to expedite, if you want to take yourself off mute and just start talking, that would be fine too. The screen will light up. We'll know exactly who you are.
I know that Sonia had a question earlier on about membership and dues.
Sonia, you with us?
I am here. You were talking about the funnel and how we get the people into the funnel and how we have our how we entice them to get them in. But once they get in, then they always find out about the membership fees. How do you balance it so once we've attracted them in, then we're not slapping them with, here's the membership fee?
Yeah, well, I think we always get, because we're really polite people and we're humble people, Rotarians, we always get shy, gun shy, and start defending membership fee. And I never defend it. I just say, look, quality, it's a quality organization, you know, and we charge dues. And we realize we may not be a fit for everybody. And if the dues are a problem for you, we totally understand. That's what I say. Because we have to collect dues to keep our infrastructure. One of the things that keeps us great is the fact that we have a foundation, the fact that we have some money to play with, the fact that John Hugo's not pressing the panic button right now because of COVID is because we have some money in the bank, people. That's what makes us strong. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to belong to a group. This is going to sound harsh, and I don't mean it to be. I don't want to belong to a free group. I don't. I think something about paying dues is attractive to me and a lot of other people. I realize not everybody agrees with this, but that's just how I feel.
Michael, can I just-
Mazzaro's with us. Hi, Melina. You mind to take yourself off mute? And also Christina Ennis. Both are assistant RPICs with Zone 28. Both have areas of expertise. That's how we arranged the RPIC team this year. Hi, Melina. How are you?
Hi, Michael.
Check your microphone. Christina is really good with social, everybody. She's also a terrific speaker. She can entertain and educate your audiences. I'm going to ask Christina and Melina to put their contact information in chat. And Melina has a special skill. She's bilingual, everybody. Melina, that was your big chance to speak French.
Ah non! Ben bonjour, si vous avez besoin de conférencier ou quoi que ce soit, n'hésitez pas, je suis là pour vous. Je vais mettre mes informations dans le chat. Puis n'hésitez pas à me rajouter autant sur Facebook que par Gmail, ça va me faire plaisir de vous répondre.
You see, the problem when you're bilingual, when the cat gets your tongue, it gets your tongue twice.
Je ne comprends pas.
Thank you very much. Christina, what are you speaking about these days? You've got a talk coming up with Devankar, right? Another of our assistants.
Devankar and I, so I'm in St. John's, Newfoundland, over way on the east coast of Canada. And Devankar's in, I believe it's Detroit. And we've been doing talks about social media and some best practices with some districts around Canada. So yeah, if you would like to have us do a talk like this for the district, or if you'd like some one-on-one attention for your club, definitely reach out. I'll put my contact information in the chat. And Devankar and I, we're a tag team on social media best practices, so we'd be happy to help and come chat. We're a very collaborative duo. We like to engage in conversation and get people asking questions and answer those burning questions that you have inside about social media and maximizing your impact.